Well, joining me now, staff writer for Roll Call, Jonathan Strong, and staff reporter for Mother Jones, Andy Kroll. Hello, guys. Good to see you.
Great to be here.
Jonathan, I'll begin with you. I'm going to read to you part of Speaker Boehner's op-ed there on the fiscal cliff negotiations. If we are serious about getting our economy moving again, solving our debt, and restoring prosperity for American families, we need to repeal Obamacare and enact common sense, step-by-step reforms that start with lowering the cost of health care. Now, you just heard Mike Behar and I talking about this, I'm sure. You know, I thought that the Speaker had said Affordable Health Care Act, it was the law of the land just a couple of weeks ago, right after the election.
Well, yeah. Now, if you read this op-ed very closely, he's kind of outlining what the change in strategy will be for House Republicans. He's basically saying we can't pass these bills that repeal the law anymore because we lost the election. But if you read in between the lines, the real message is we're going to take those investigations into Obamacare that are led by Darrell Issa and turn that baby up to 11. They're really going to turn on the heat with the investigations now.
Okay. Andy, if Speaker Boehner is using this as a bargaining chip, how much do you think it buys him? Does it give him any leverage when it comes to fiscal cliff negotiations?
When you're talking about the actual negotiations with the White House and with Democrats, putting Obamacare implementation on the table is a non-starter. The White House has come out and already said we will not consider this a bargaining chip. However, what I think that this message that Boehner's sending does is it buys him some space, it buys him some time with members of his own party in the House. If you remember the grand bargain deal last year, John Boehner was unable to bring the more conservative parts of his party in the House into his, onto his side and to agree with him on a deal. He couldn't bring them in. The deal fell apart. This kind of talk from him, this op-ed from him, perhaps is, some red meat or just, some nice words that the more conservative members of his party want to hear, and maybe he can get them on board with this kind of talk.
Okay, moving on to immigration, guys. Jonathan, House Republicans are planning to vote on new legislation. It's aimed at helping immigrants in this country. Now, call me cynical, but is this genuine or is it purely political?
It's obviously coming right after the election, and so I think there's a political message here. This is still just playing around on the edges. This is a rehash of a bill they already passed before the election. It's not coming close to the third rail within Republican politics, which would be to provide a path to citizenship to the millions of illegal immigrants who are here in this country already. So we're still, it's a symbolic gesture that they're going to tackle this issue. It's not the significant, substantive type of bill that would cause a lot of controversy within Republicans.
Well, Andy, do you think this might anger more people than help within the GOP?
Well, any kind of immigration measure that even begins to take the party down the path toward, as Jonathan said, some sort of measure, providing legalization for illegal immigrants here is going to cause, there's going to be hell to pay for that. But, the Republican Party realizes that the demographics are stacked against them and that the future is bleak if they continue the same kinds of policies and the same kinds of rhetoric as they have, in elections past. You have the most conservative member coming into the Senate, Senator Ted Cruz from Texas, himself saying we need to, start thinking in real strong, comprehensive terms about immigration reform, or as a party, we're toast.
Okay. Well, you guys aren't toast. You'll be back sometime soon with me, no doubt. Andy Kroll, Jonathan Strong.